Welcome back to my 5 games in 5 minutes YouTube series, where we have a look at the 5 mobile games I played last week, giving you fine folks as much insight as possible in only 1 minute per game. Ready, set, let's get to the games. MMA Manager is essentially Crash Arena Turbo Stars for the sports fighting game genre. We hire a team of MMA fighters, train them to become stronger and better, and then we take on campaign and PvP fights that unfold automatically, just like in Cats. We upgrade our gym, add new training facilities, and then just rinse and repeat. The interesting part is figuring out how to configure each fighter so that he or she best counters the opponent. Should you go all in on aggressive shoulder attacks or take a defensive stance and going for high kicks instead? The strategic element is rather deep, which means that although there's a bit of a learning curve, it's a game that you can actually become really good at. Monetization happens through speeding up training, but the in-app purchases are disabled during the beta stage. The game requires online access, it takes up 200 MB of space, is out on Android only for now during the beta, and my final verdict is that you should definitely go play this one. We take off in a rescue helicopter, shooting enemy vehicles and buildings in a quest to save our allies who held hostage and return them safely to our base. That's the basic concept of 2D arcade game Dustoff Heli Rescue 2, and I really enjoyed playing through its 30 missions, although I'm not completely done yet actually. My main frustration with the game is the energy system, which limits us to 10 plays before having to wait or pay up. The game is offline playable, it takes up 229 MB of space, it's out both on Android and iOS, and actually also Steam and Nintendo and many other platforms. And my final verdict is that you should definitely play it. With 40 single-player missions, Air Combat Pilot is a visually great-looking World War II themed flying game that isn't exactly a dogfighter, but rather focuses on completing objectives, such as destroying air balloons or ground targets, such as for example ships. The game is a lot of fun, but half of all the planes can only be unlocked through premium currency, and the other half requires so much in-game currency that we do have to grind quite a bit to buy them. Additionally, unless we buy a $3 in-app purchase, ads will appear every once in a while, which means the monetization is rather heavy for a free-to-play title. Most Bluetooth controllers should work with the game though, although there are also a gyroscope and a joystick control setup, which works just fine as well. The game can be played offline, it takes up 229 MB of space, it's out on Android and iOS, and my final verdict is that you should definitely play this one as well, if you're into flying games. Talion is a new open-world MMORPG from Gamewill that's in beta until June 5th, and it's simultaneously the most gorgeous-looking and automated game I've ever played. Although the 3 available classes are gender-locked, the character creation screen allows for an insane amount of customization, however. But once we enter the game, everything is automated. We run, fight, use skills, and start quests automatically, only tapping every now and then to complete a quest really. Although some of the dungeons in the game can be completed on auto too, the other dungeons and the 5 vs 5, 20 vs 20, and 50 vs 50 grand scale PvP modes are the game's main appeal right now, but most are time-locked and I haven't actually been able to catch any of them yet. I do expect they'll be more easily available for all time zones after the beta though. Since accounts are wiped after the beta, there's no monetization enabled yet, so it's impossible to say how pay-to-win the game will become. I do expect monetization to focus on XP increases and other scrolls and cosmetics though. The game requires online access, takes up 3.33 GB of space. It's out on Android and iOS, and my final verdict is that you might just want to skip this one unless you really love idle MMOs. Onmyoji Arena is a visually stunning, seriously, just look at the 3D models. 3-lane, 5 vs 5 MOBA with no pay-to-win arcane or rune system. Yes, it's finally happening, guys. Instead, the game monetizes purely through selling characters, which can of course also be acquired for in-game gold as in any other MOBA really, and then the skins. To add a strategic element to the game, instead of runes, we have abilities which are not upgradable but can be mixed to create unique characters. So if you want to surprise the opponent by going all in on physical defense on an otherwise weak armored DPS character, well, we can do that now. It's easily the best MOBA I've played because of the fair monetization and smooth gameplay. The game requires online access, it takes up 1.62 GB of space, it's out on Android and iOS, and my final verdict is that you should definitely play this game as it's my favorite of the week. Thanks for watching, let me know which game was your favorite, and until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.